right, so it's that time again. Got ourselves another one here. So this is gonna be kind of a quick review of the ACC hanger there. So that I know that's on step for you guys. You guys have already made it, but I know that when I opened up this file, because it's 2016, I was like, what was going on? It wasn't quite as bad as opening my really early stuff, but I didn't quite have it as organized, and it was long before I did my eyeballs like look at me. So all of it was sort of just spread out. I'm like what's this piece over here? I was like, huh. So in order to save you guys from that, and I'm sure you'll get back in the groove because you cats were already working on this. So I just want to point out some of the stuff. I know you guys have already started working on the lenses and stuff like that, but just to refresh your memory, because it took me a second to refresh my memory. So let's just go down memory lane here real quick. So with that, let's just get started. Let's get after it. So we got the lay of the land. So we have all this stuff's 063. We were trying to keep it super light, but it is kind of a pain in the butt to work with. But we have all of our parts. We have 3 signs. So you have your tops and all your parts there for that part. You get your jigs, keeping out for those. And you got the little power box up top. And then we have this piece of 1/8 that's the sort of the main structure bar. And then you have the weld-in bars here. And then you have the beauty caps up top for the little post. I kind of modified this piece, not that you'd remember the other piece, but these are the LED trays. And then these guys here are the kind of jigs you use for LED spacing, because we're kind of making the LEDs do sort of a wash. If you remember, they don't really do a full blast. So you guys are already on the lenses, and then you have those that go straight to paint, or to the first shop, and then they get painted. So anyway, so you're gonna get the hang of it pretty quick. But the whole procedure was you start with this inner core post. And then I also made these available, as you know, I made these available on the server. So you kind of have like this picture here. So that little main post thing. Now, this one is actually one of the big hangers. When you guys review the photos in here, this is the big hanger, but it's similar, right? So these are the small hangers. But you kind of start with that inner core thing, and you just go ahead and rivet that together. So you're going to rivet together this inner core, and then once you get this inner core set up with all these guys here, then that attaches to the 1/8 inch piece. So then you can see right there where that attaches there, and then you get this bent up, and that's just across the top. And then you're going to slide in the quarter pieces. You don't want to, you can't slide them in after you put the topper on. So there's the topper there, the 063 topper. So you want to make sure so you got to kind of follow that order. So you get this riveted together, you slide in these guys into the 1/8 inch piece there, and then you can bring the topper on top of that. Separately, you're going to make up the J's. So you're just going to make up these parts here, if you recall. That's these guys here. Boom, boom. So you're going to make up those 4. The bigger piece, the bigger retainer, which is the 1.5 inch, I believe, or 1.25 inch. Yeah. So the 1.25 inch side versus the 1 inch. So the 1.25 inch actually goes to the face. So it's bigger, and it gives more room to put that black tape that they're going to use to keep the face where it's supposed to be. That goes to the outside. The 1 inch goes to the inside. Small side faces in, bigger side faces out. And then that's how it is with your jiggies. So the jiggies here have this like larger corner piece. This is for your outside, and then the skinny guy is in for your inside. So you can go ahead and make these separately. You weld these up, get those into J's. Then it's lordsing these splice pieces everywhere. And then this is the bottom pan. And then you can see where, if you recall, that part there aligns with the bottom here. This guy, that's the bottom. So that locks into there. And then you're just going to bring in and splice in your J's. And then you have these guys here. If you recall, it's actually a 1-2 thing. This part here is your corner jig for here, for the corner of the cabinet. And then this part is the Lordsy in part that brings the top of the J in. So you Lords that together, and then you're going to Lords that together down on the bottom. So these, and then you have this little side piece there that comes into the top, and that's this part here is what this guy, yeah, here it is over here. So this guy here attaches there. that's this top part here. So that gets tacked in. So it's a little bit of tacking, a little bit of lordsing, if you recall all that. So once you get the kind of frame set up, and then you have these guys here. Once you get the frame set up, then you have these beauty pieces. I was kind of like, what are these? Because these weren't internal jigs. So I forgot though that these are just beauty pieces, because you got this chompy. You got the kerf chompy in the corner there. So where this is all ugly on the inside. So all these are just beauty rings. So these just are trim pieces that go to the inside, and you just lords those on and make them look nice, and they get bonded up. So that way, when people look up to the photo, inside here, that's all clean. So all those are doing is, there's 4 of them. Those are just beauty strips to make it look nice on the inside. That's all. But yeah, I was kind of like, I don't understand what those are for. It took me a second to remember. So you get that all set up, and then comes all these little pieces on the inside. So there's these little guys here. These are just tape landing spots. So you have one here that fits in between the jigs. You got this jig and this jig. So this guy tucks in there. You tack him in, and then that gives you a landing spot for black tape. And then you have one along the bottom there, right here. That's for black tape. So those are for the lenses. And again, I know you guys are going to probably rely heavily on all these pictures here, but yeah, you can see just right there, just a little bit of black tape. So that's the top one there. And then there's side ones. There's a little bit of tape there, but again, these are on the server, and these are gonna do you guys a picture's worth 1,000 words, but I'm definitely gonna say 1,000 words anyway. So, but yeah, that'll kind of give you guys a little heads up. But so that was that. I think you guys got that part pretty good. Get your power supply thing, and then that goes on the top. Get all that riveted together. And then just to touch on LEDs, again, these little tray things were kind of confusing because I forgot what those, like how they work. I know this top one was this deal here. That goes to the top lens there, but I didn't have this. I didn't record this part. These were still, we got it into production, and then I just left it. So when I came back, I forgot. I didn't know like what we did with these little bottom trays. But thankfully the pictures show that they fire back into the sign. We're relying on that cone to wash the bottom, but this right here is actually firing across the cabinet to help wash the whole thing. So, but again, spacing is sort of important for that. So just do the best you can. But if you remember, that's what these guides were for. Because then I'm like, well, what are these like sawtooth things for? So, and again, so I created this so we can remember. I didn't do this for myself last time. So, so what you do is take this jig and you Cleco it to the thing, and then you go ahead and put the center of each LED on each notch, and that will give you that nice proper spacing to give nice even coverage for these guys. So, well, let's see, where was that? Yeah, so it's good to have that coverage, and then have that even coverage, so that way it's washing the face and washing the basket or the bastic. So, and then you can see where those fire back in like that. So, and there's another shot there. There's the black tape there. So get all those guys. And there's those internal pieces there. So again, yeah, go to town on these pictures. It's all good. But, and then I gave you guys, I modified this jig. So this jig gives you the bend, the proper bends for the top part. And then if you use this as 25, that gives you these bottom guys here that tuck in there. That's that 25 degree. So just match, do this one 90 and then match this one to 25 that matches that guy. So I gave you those. So otherwise, and then yes, confirmed through the pictures, thankfully. Because again, we lost all of our UL on that. So, so we got these pictures here. So let's just go ahead and we got the 4100s. So bring in some of those. We did not use the 4500Ks, and we got our cutlass there. So you guys got that. And then according to the pictures, we definitely did the all thread. It looks like probably 2 feet of all thread. It might be 18-inch because if this is 6, we got, so probably 2 foot, 1/2 inch all threads. What's up, beggar? So you remember there. So yeah, definitely go to town on the pictures. And then if you remember, we brought that. That's why we have that spool. We brought that cabling so that way they can run the leash and be all UL. So bring that cabling in. So I think that's it, though. I think you guys will. I encourage you guys maybe to just do one, get your eye in, remember everything, and then knock out the other two. So anyway, but I think that's it. So as usual, if you have any questions, hit me up.
Check the